Thank you for joining us on Pop Kasa. This is where we talk about trending stories in entertainment and pop culture around the world. Today, I'm joined by two fantastic persons who have not only experienced a lot of fame, but also trolls. They will be sharing their thoughts about the recently passed bill against online insults in Japan. And I've got the itch, which may not be palatable to you, depending on the side of the divide you stand. So let's get the show all started in a second. Welcome to Pop Kasa. I'm JJ Raymond, and today on the Pop Kasa coach, I like to call him coach, but because this guy's out there, but on the couch today, I've got my homeboy Trust, who's right here. How you doing, bro?
I'm fine. It's funny how you said I've experienced fame before. Y'all should Google me because I'm very famous, sir.
And of course, we also have B.O.B. How are you, darling?
Fine, thank you. Good to be here again.
Yeah, I feel like, both of you, whether for two together, man and lady. Okay,
JJ.
Hey. Come on. All right. This week, a story broke accusing Nigerian musician Burna Boy of being at the center of a shooting incident that left two men in the hospital. So here's what happened. Burna Boy was at a club where he saw a woman that caught his eyes. The woman entered his eye. But the woman was there with her husband. And after he reportedly sent someone to call her at least twice, the husband was offended and there was an exchange of words or so. Burna Boy was in the club with 5 police escorts. 4 stayed outside, but he was inside with 1 officer on mufti, identified as Inspector Ibrahim. When the exchange became heated, the officer pulls out his gun, his service pistol, and fired out some shots. 2 hit people in the club. All 5 officers have right now been arrested. Investigations are ongoing, and Burna Boy is currently out of the country. Unfortunately, this is not a standalone story. It's not isolated, not at all. Nigerians have over time questioned the need for Nigerian celebrities to have men of the Nigerian police attached to them. E-Money, celebrity barman, Cubana chief priest, Nollywood actress Regina Daniels, Apostle Suleiman, Apostle. Even the band and many more are seen walking around with police escorts. Now, politicians indicted in this too are also so indicted in this. Take a look at this video. All right, so before we get to talk about that video, in response to this, the Nigerian police force has again warned officers attached to VIPs all over the country to stop serving other purposes apart from their security duties. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Bolanle. I'm pretty sure that you have experienced a lot of fame. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You're a star. But is it really necessary? Tell us, why do we need escorts, police escorts as celebrities?
I feel we don't need escorts, but then fans can be very, they can be very funny. They can actually go above and beyond and unexpectedly probably cause bodily harm to you if you're not being careful. So some of them are actually doing it for their safety. Like this week we had the issue with Tom Hanks. Do you understand? He's a very happy person, very easy-go person. And then the press and fans were all over him. Tom, to the point they made his wife spill her coffee. One of them literally pushed her, and then he flipped. Nobody has seen Tom like that. That's how he gets. So if he had probably the right amount of security guard around him, that wouldn't have happened.
It's interesting when you say security, because now we're talking police escorts. What happened to having private security? I'm quite aware we have those in Nigeria.
Because I'm also wondering, who is qualified exactly to get a police escort?
Well, I'm quite aware that politicians, they call them expatriates,
diplomats?
Diplomats,
well,
yes,
yeah.
they're qualified. I'm not sure about pastors. Jesus is there, Holy Spirit is there. I'm not also sure about most of the celebrities we have.
So you're in NS saying that, nobody apart from these persons, this category of persons you've mentioned should have police escort. Because if they're quite accessible that way, I could just simply go in there and go, get myself 1 or 2. Because we see a lot of these things happen. People move around with police escorts on our streets?
So
People who are virtually nobody, probably because they just have the money.
In a developed world, in an economy that works, it's not right for a military personnel or security personnel to be assigned to you unless they are working under you, under the law. They assign them to you from the office. Now, if you're someone in the office and then you have a military person moving around with you, there's something wrong. You don't see them doing it in America. You don't see them doing it in UK. These people will enter, same boss, public servants enter without security.
And if you need a security, get a private security.
You
Yes.
understand?
It's that
Not
simple.
uniformed men. It's wrong.
Okay, this takes me away right now. Yeah, establish that you are not supposed to, as an individual, I mean, as the general masses, as we say, you're not supposed to have police escorts. But now, have you also experienced or seen on the streets of this Lagos and all around Nigeria that police escorts are the major culprits of breaking traffic laws one way, do all kinds of crazy things?
It's great. It's what you're saying is it happens all the time. I have a friend who was an intern at an oil servicing company one time, and his guy just told him one day, you know what, experience the life I experienced. Take the escorts, go to this site, and said he was an intern with a convoy of police vans blowing, woo, 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 woo. And he was just, they were breaking traffic laws. It felt so exciting to him to actually watch and see these things happen. That's the reality of us as Nigerians. They'll literally whip anybody, hit people's cars because they have a siren or they have an escort attached to them. It's terrible.
I'm beginning to think it's a mentality thing. You know, Nigerians like to oppress.
God will bless you. We have that thing of wanting to oppress the next person. Quite alright. There are situations where you need the security, the police especially available, maybe during election periods, or you're going to maybe a burial ceremony where maybe you're going to Ishalangwa, sort of place where they kill people, and you need security there to protect the people. Those are circumstances that allow. But not you're going from Novera Mall to the beach and you're carrying security escorts. It makes no sense. It's blatant misuse of power.
And I think it happens more in Africa in general. So we need to curb it.
Nigeria.
So that's where Nigeria, so we're talking about Nigeria. We don't know about other countries. It's happening in other countries within Africa too. So we can't say it's only in Nigeria because we are here, we're seeing what's going on there. If you go to Uganda, you go to Rwanda, there are still reports of oppression going on there.
And we're
So
trying to
it's
build a
almost the same
society of
thing.
equality.
Yes.
Isn't
Well,
that
it's
crazy?
the plates
Exactly.
for me. See how happy that man looked carrying those plates. The plate and the gele.
You know, it's the same issue that rolls down to what happened with Burna Boy too in the club and all that. Same moving with security, uniformed men. And then they just start shooting in the air. And
And
All
that's
right,
quite
guys,
fortunate
let's
to
do this
survive.
mathematics right now. Now, the Nigeria Police Force has 371,800 officers, precisely. There are an estimated 200 million Nigerians. The United Nations recommends one police officer for every 450 citizens. In Nigeria, it comes to one officer for every 538 citizens. Now,
Wow.
if one person decides to hire 5 police escorts to himself, then what happens to the rest of us?
You're depriving a lot of people. But the question now is, why don't we have more people enrolling into the police force? Welfare. It's seen as a crass bottom barrel job. So you can't expect to have more people recruit, enroll into the Nigeria Defense Academy, the Police Academy, to now become part of the one that is assigned to all the other people. Those are the issues. It's not just about one person carrying all the policemen available. There are a lot of other issues, but then I still understand what you're saying by that.
one of the reasons why they also do it is because there's no proper remuneration. Basically, they're not taken care of in the system. You see a lot of policemen still hungry. They are actually
That's
hungry.
true.
Have you been to their quarters?
I have.
If you go to their quarters, you see the state, the place is a mess.
It is.
So the question is, even after retirement, what happens to these people? Do they get their pensions? Do they get their gratuity? While they're even working, are there proper structures put in place to make sure they are okay? If they are fine, their job is taking care of them, they won't do most of what they're doing on the streets. So it boils down, it's a two-way thing. You give them, they are okay. If you don't, they do what they need to do.
All right, guys. So I know some people have made trolling a national pastime, but a new law in one country could send trolls to jail for up to a year. It comes after a young man committed suicide. The details after the break. This is Pop Kasa. Now, if you followed us through, then you know that you've already missed one part. But then, let's go down to the next story. Earlier this week, the Japanese parliament passed a bill that would make online insults punishable by up to a year in jail. This comes after a popular 22-year-old Japanese reality TV star, whose name is Hana Kimura, a wrestler and star of Netflix's reality show Terrace House, committed suicide. According to the Japan Times, Kimura had received multiple hateful online messages before her death. Under the new bill, those convicted of trolling can be punishable by up to a year in jail or be fined 300,000 yen or $2,200, or in Naira, black market rates, about 1.3 million bucks. Offenders previously faced fewer than 30 days of detention and a fine of 10,000 yen or $75. The new legislation will also extend the statute of limitations from 1 year to 3 years. Now, the new legislation will take effect later this summer. Now, it's also important to know that the bill was passed with a little condition, and that's that it's going to be re-examined in 3 years to decide its effect on society. Guys, what do you think of this development? I'll start with you, B.O.B.
It's a sad one, first of all. Trolling has never helped anyone. It has more disadvantage on the mental health than it does for you. Even if for some people, they feel they're trending at that particular point. But when you're trolling someone, you're insulting the person. You're inflicting some form of psychological damage to the person. So I just did a little read up online. And then from what I have here, the context of, let me just say insulting the person, that's the word. So I'm trying to give you a proper definition of what that means. It says you treat with gross insensitivity, insolence, or contemptuous rudeness to affront or demean a person, and then to treat or mention or speak to a person rudely, offensively. Do you understand? An offensive or contemptuous remark or action in a slight way just to make the person feel bad, feel abused. Basically, that's what it means. So then, in all the many definitions of insult, one thing that is common here is the effect is damaging. You're literally messing up the person's good reputation. And they seem to forget the fact that she was just a character in a series, in a movie. Something you're seeing out there. It's her job. It is not who the person is. If you judge a person based on what you see there, then you're not giving the person the benefit of doubt.
I also want to ask, does it really make sense to read online comments? Because I, JJ Raymond, I don't do that. Really. I really don't care whatever you write on my page.
Well, it's part of the tenets of social media. Reading comments, engaging, liking, sharing, reposting. But I think one other thing I want to bring back and lift up of what Bolanle was saying about what insult really is. So in Japan, insult and defamation are categorized in the penal code as two different things. One means you are, making assumptions about somebody when you don't even have all the facts. And then the other one is when you publicly demean a person without referring to any specific facts. That is insult. Defamation, on the other hand, is alleging facts about a person. But when you now bring it back in reality, so it's really kind of unclear if to what degree you can say what insult is. It's kind of unclear because there is already in the penal code they have a law that gives freedom of speech. So it's kind of unclear when you say you now want to penalize somebody because of comments online, hateful comments online. It means you most likely have to now revisit the first law they have made. And if this was last year, I would have said, okay, but it's unfolding before our eyes.
Now, I think that there are a lot of persons online who are trendy in terms of being constructively critical in their comments. People like Daddy Freeze, Reno, Frank Edoho, all these guys. But I keep wondering, why do people want to troll others? Is it because there are also other influential persons they are emulating?
So there are a lot of reasons, and one that I found to be something that people like to do a lot is, there's a handle on both Twitter and Instagram that is called Savage Comments. So people want to troll people so that their comments can be screenshot and put on those platforms that make it trend, both on Instablog, Yaba Left, and the likes. And in turn, people now go back to check, okay, who is this person? You want to go and check this person's account.
And it
translates to more views, more followers.
But before you even try to troll anybody, you should have something up here. I respect some persons like Okon Lagos, that's Ime Bishop. He could troll you. he could make 1,001 comments, but you can never
Intelligently.
hold him on any of that.
Well,
because
that's
they are smart.
Well, that's
They're
not
brilliant.
trolling.
They're
That is
informed.
constructive criticism. But what this guy is doing are blatantly insulting people, alleging things about you, defaming, like they want to ruin your character on the internet. Bolanle, you've been on the reality TV show. Have you had your fair share of this thing? I beg, give us just.
I beg rest for this reality show. I beg rest. So the thing about some of these people is when you get to see them one-on-one, we've had a couple of situations where some of these celebrities tracked the person that trolled them to their house and workplace. And then you see the person, you're looking at the person like this. Did you really say, you can't even talk to me? You can't even stand in my face and say those things. Do you
remember
understand?
the video of the Ghanaian TV host that they actually tracked this person? The person had come for an interview before and they brought out all the main comments and they were reading to this person and say, okay, oh boy, now you talk this thing. And the guy could not even, the guy not fit cap.
Come on, there are better ways to use your phone and your data than just writing whatever you want. Well, the new legislation, you guys should know that it has been controversial in Japan, with lawmakers trying to find a balance between free speech and hate speech online. Someone took their life because of hateful comments. But is government going too far with this? How far can the government go in clamping down these things, these persons who put up all kinds of comments online?
So Korea has a sort of control on their social media content. You have particular time you can go online. You have particular time. They monitor it. There's literally, you can't just be online anyhow. Even if you're a visitor there, you can't go on social media. They control everything that happens. Even some of the parts of China as well, they have the same regulation. So Japan doing this, they won't be the first country to do that. Asia seems to feel they can control their citizens. They can control the information that comes in and out. So I don't feel there's anything wrong with it, because social media right now, people are beginning to make use of it the wrong way.
So there are at least 71 countries of the world that have one form of restriction or the other on the social media. Now, do you think we should also adopt that? Trust.
In Nigeria. So this is, when you ask me if I think we should, it's conflicting, because these people that are advocating for a control of social media in Nigeria, I'm not sure they have the best interest at heart.
Okay.
They are doing, why is it that it's always when election times come up that they are always advocating for, let's clamp down on social media in Nigeria?
I want to stop
That's
on
the
that
point.
question.
Yeah.
All right. So to you who's watching, I bet you want to answer that, right? Anyway, guys, let's move on to the H right now. Hey, have you ever had a very weird date? A brunch, a lunch, or dinner? Well, what happened to this Twitter user? At Simply Sonia, definitely falls into the very weird category. Now, she tweeted, met this guy on Twitter, asked me out on a date. I took my order just like he did. But when the bills were brought, he asked me to pay for mine. I got confused, but I no go allow make one boy shame me. I paid and left and asked about it this morning, and he said this to me. Now, this is the guy's response. Good morning, Sonia. How are you? Blah, 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 blah. See, I wonder why you girls do this big. I asked for just a bottled water and pie. Like, look at what you ordered for. Stare Chinese spag. It costs 16,500 naira. I know I might have disappointed you, but I feel you should have ordered for something within the price range. I did, and our date would have gone nice. Just like I said, I know I disappointed you, but yay, I don't have up to that amount to spare at that point, and at that same time, salute you for turning up and paying. Take care of yourself. So, okay. Where did this go wrong? Let me start with, where did it go wrong? Because if I want to go on a date with a girl, I will decide where we go to. I'm going to tell you, okay, give me choices, give me the options. And then I tell you, let's go for this, because this is how much I want to spend. I'm very vocal when it comes to spending my money. Come on, hey, you know how I make the money, legit.
First, why would you take her there if you cannot afford the food?
Okay, so first, they didn't give us context on to where they actually went to. But you do realize that most of these
restaurant.
They did not say Chinese restaurants. You do realize that there are restaurants now that sell both from Chinese down to meat pie. So they're selling high-end stuff, and they're selling, trenches people their meal.
Yeah.
So he must have gone there and said, okay, you know what, I can afford trenches meal. And she, not that I'm calling people that eat meat pie, I get trenches food, but it's just a way of categorizing what has happened. And she now went into other stir-fry spag, 16,500. Ha! Come on now.
So, There's nothing wrong with ordering stir-fried.
Yeah.
You see what I'm telling you now? You brought me to a restaurant that they have options, continental, local, trenches food according to trust. But now the thing is, did you tell me stick to snacks?
So I think the guy
You didn't tell me that. Do you understand? Wait. You have. I don't want to give names here because they are brands, but there are places where they sell these things strictly. If you know this is what you can afford, take me to that place. Because if you take me to where there's stir fry, I'm a pasta person.
Have you ever heard the phrase read the room?
I would take chicken.
Have you ever heard the phrase read the room? So let's say we didn't have this conversation and I'm ordering meat pie. You're not going to order.
Like, use your
In the
sense.
first place, I don't like snacks. So why would I order meat pie?
JJ, you look like you have a lot to say. Has it happened to you
guys,
before?
I shared this with you, but I also want to share it right now. So just some weeks ago, I decided to take a girl out. You know, I told her, "Hey, are you up for the beach?" And then she said, "Yes." I bought Isiewu, like one of my favorites. You know, that cost some, and that was very okay for us to have. And then I said, "Okay, let's just get down to the supermarket and get some drinks." I called it drinks. Then she goes in there. She picks 2 bottles and an extra 1 big pack of a drink. I'm like, okay, maybe she wants to pick not water. She got soft drinks and, you know, all them beverages. And then next thing she says, oh, I want to pick some burger. And after burger, I want to get another lap of turkey.
On another person's money.
And
Are you
she
saying?
got two bars of chocolate. I'm telling you. Do you know what I did? I let her do, you know, she did all that. Then while going back, I got to her house and told her, excuse me, all right? I brought out those things and divided into, say, this is your part, this is my part.
Imakadia.
Thank you, my guy.
God bless you, my brother.
Seriously,
Hey,
you did nothing wrong.
No, I did nothing wrong.
Agree with you on that. No.
Guys need to be very vocal about how much and what extent
But
they're
also,
willing to spend.
I also really applaud her for actually paying. She had money, but she wanted to.
So that was where I was going to. So ladies, we always have our ATM card.
Have your
I
Vex
advise
money.
every girl, if you have to go out, please kindly go with your, we call it Vex money
Vex
here
money.
in Nigeria. Hold your Vex money, cash or ATM card, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, with that being said, thank you, Trust, and thank you, B.O.B. Good time talking with you.
Same here.
Like my friend would say, when our face show, your shoes shine.
Every chance.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's been a great time right here on the show podcast. I will catch you again next Friday. Thank you for being a part of this show.